Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty cool today, how video analysis can be used to teach science, specifically physics.
Sounds interesting.
It is. Our source material is a workshop for teachers over in Singapore.
Okay.
It's called, get this, Becoming Scientists Through Video Analysis.
I like it.
Pretty catchy, right?
Yeah.
We're going to look at how this approach helps students learn, really think like scientists. We'll also peek at the tech involved
Cool.
and maybe even get inspired to try some video analysis ourselves. Who knows?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this workshop really focuses on shifting to a more student-centered way to learn physics.
It does.
And they use something called the 8 Practices of Science Education.
Right.
Can you break those down for us a little bit? Like, what's the big idea behind them?
Yeah, so the 8 practices, they're adapted from the U.S. framework for K through 12 science education.
Okay.
And basically the idea is to encourage active learning instead of passive learning.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all about moving away from that, classic model of the teacher just lecturing
Right.
while the students sit there, passively listening.
Right, absorbing,
Yeah.
just like sponges. Yeah.
Exactly. So instead, the students actually get to act like scientists.
Oh, so they're not just memorizing formulas and things like that. They're actually asking questions,
Yeah.
designing experiments, analyzing data. Wow, that's a big shift.
It is a big shift. It
Yeah.
is. And, one practice that really highlights this is constructing explanations.
Okay.
So instead of just giving the students the answer,
Right.
the teacher challenges them to come up with their own explanations based on what they've observed.
Oh, I see.
So they have to look at the evidence,
Right.
identify patterns, and, build a logical argument to support their claims.
That's cool.
That's critical thinking in action right there.
That's real critical thinking, yeah. So it sounds like this leads to a much deeper understanding than just being told the answer.
Yeah.
But how does video analysis fit into all of this?
Well, that's where I think things get really interesting.
Okay.
So video analysis, it lets students break down these complex motions into smaller parts.
Okay.
And then when you combine that with these 8 practices,
Yeah.
it becomes this super powerful tool for engaging students and, helping them make sense of physics.
So they're not just reading about physics in a textbook, they're actually seeing it happen.
Exactly. They're seeing it happen.
And then analyzing it themselves.
Yes.
Right.
And they can do this with a free software called Tracker.
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 Tell me more about Tracker. I'm always excited to learn about new tools, new software.
Yeah. So Tracker basically lets students analyze videos of physical phenomena frame by frame.
Okay.
So they can measure distances, they can look at velocities, accelerations, all kinds of things.
Wow.
So imagine you have a video of a ball rolling down a ramp.
Okay, yeah.
Students can use Tracker to actually track the ball's motion
Oh.
and see how its speed changes over time. So they're collecting real-world data
That's amazing.
and actually seeing these physics concepts come to life right before their eyes.
So they're not just passively watching a video. They're actively analyzing it
Actively, yeah.
and getting a much richer understanding
Deeper, yeah.
of the physics involved.
And you know what? Tracker even has this feature called the shared library,
Oh.
which is this collection of pre-built models
Oh, nice.
for all sorts of physics concepts. So even if you're new to Tracker or don't have a ton of time to create your own models from scratch,
Right.
you can still use it really effectively in the classroom.
That's a great resource.
Yeah,
Sounds like they've really thought about how to make this approach accessible
they have.
for teachers.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does this workshop itself actually look like? What are teachers actually doing during the session?
It's very hands-on. It starts with an introduction to the 8 practices just to kind of set the stage
Right.
for this student-centered approach. And then participants, they actually dive into Tracker and get to experiment with it.
They get to play around with it.
They do. They analyze different videos, and there are examples for different grade levels.
Oh.
So teachers can see how they might, adapt it
Right.
for their own students.
So it's not just about learning the software. It's about imagining how you'd use it with your students.
Exactly.
That's so important.
And then the workshop, it doesn't even stop at just basic analysis.
It doesn't.
No, it encourages teachers to try something called in-depth model building.
In-depth model building. Okay, now I'm intrigued. What does that involve? So in-depth model building.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of advanced,
It can be, yeah.
but also really interesting.
Yeah, incredibly engaging.
So what is it? Instead of just analyzing videos, students actually use Tracker to
Yeah.
create their own models of physical systems. So they're not just like observing anymore.
They're
designing.
testing their own hypotheses.
Oh, that's cool. Like maybe creating a simulation of projectile motion.
Exactly.
And changing different variables like
Yeah.
the angle or the initial velocity to see how it affects,
the trajectory.
the trajectory. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's really cool.
It's really powerful
Yeah.
for students to explore like cause and effect
Right.
and really get a feel for like how physics works. It takes them beyond just memorizing formulas and into like a deeper understanding of the concepts.
This all sounds amazing,
It is pretty cool.
but I'm sure there are like challenges
Oh, yeah.
that come with it.
Definitely.
What are like some of the things that teachers might face
Yeah.
when they're trying to do this in the classroom?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things is infrastructure.
Okay.
Not all schools have the resources, right,
Right.
to equip every classroom with,
Computers,
computers, cameras, reliable internet access.
which you kind of need.
All very important for video analysis.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the software is free. That's great.
Right.
But you still need,
You need the other stuff to make it work.
all those other pieces.
So technology can be a barrier.
It can be, yeah.
And even if you have the technology,
Yeah.
I imagine like teacher training
Absolutely.
is another hurdle.
Huge, yeah.
Like teachers need to feel comfortable using Tracker
Yeah.
and actually like,
Integrating it.
integrating it into their lessons.
Yeah, professional development is key.
Yeah.
Teachers need time,
Yeah.
to learn the software, to explore and develop, lesson plans
Yeah.
that incorporate it effectively.
Right. Because if you don't have that,
Yeah,
then it's easy to feel overwhelmed
definitely.
because it's one thing to have the tools.
Right.
It's another to know how to use them
Totally.
effectively. And, I imagine some teachers might also find it hard to balance like
That open-ended
the open-ended nature of this approach with
Yeah.
the need to,
Meet learning objectives.
meet those specific learning objectives.
Right, because how do you make sure that they stay on track
Right.
while still,
Giving them that freedom
that freedom
Especially-
to explore?
to explore.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's something that the workshop addresses.
Okay.
It emphasizes like the importance of
Yeah.
setting clear learning objectives,
Right.
designing activities
Okay.
with the purpose.
Mm.
So even though students have some
about-
freedom,
Yeah.
they still need to know like
Yep.
what they're aiming for.
What the goal is.
Exactly.
So it's not just about like
Play.
letting them play with the software.
Right,
It's
exactly.
about giving them
a structure.
a structured
environment.
where they can learn and explore.
Learn to explore effectively.
Now, speaking of exploring,
Yeah,
you mentioned that you found something
it did.
interesting in the materials.
Yes.
In the lesson resources section,
Uh-huh.
there's this project
Yes.
titled Edulab 073, Becoming Scientists Through Video Analysis
That's it.
at Raffles Girls School.
Hmm?
What caught your eye about that?
Well, I mean, the title itself
Yeah.
really highlights the core idea
Right.
of this whole approach, right?
Allowing students to be scientists
Yeah,
through video analysis.
exactly.
Unfortunately, though,
Yeah,
the materials don't really give us much detail about the project itself.
not a ton, no.
It's like a little mystery.
It is a little
Like,
bit.
what did these students actually do?
I know, man.
What did they discover?
It would be so fascinating to see how they,
Brought this approach to life.
bring to life, yeah.
But, even without, like,
Not specific.
those specifics,
Yeah,
it's still a great example
it is.
of how video analysis can be used.
Yeah. In so many creative ways.
Yeah, in all sorts of creative ways.
Yeah.
Now, even though we might not know about that particular project,
Right.
it seems like, from the feedback,
Yes.
the teachers are pretty excited
They are.
about this approach.
Definitely.
Did they, share any thoughts
They did.
on their experience?
Overall, it was super positive.
Okay.
They really liked the content
Mm-hmm.
and felt like it was relevant
Yeah,
to their teaching.
to what they do.
Yeah. But they did say that they wanted more time to practice with Tracker
That makes sense.
and, come up with more ideas for
Yeah.
how they could use it in their classrooms.
Because it takes time, right?
It does.
To get comfortable with the tech
Yeah.
and then to, figure out how to integrate it
into your lessons.
into your lessons, yeah.
Some teachers also suggested starting with the very basics of Tracker.
Just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
Before, like, moving on.
To the more advanced stuff.
To the fancier stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a suggestion to have clearer lesson objectives.
Yes.
So teachers can, like, see that connection between the activity and the learning goal.
Exactly. Make it explicit.
So it sounds like they're, you know,
they're ready.
They're eager to do it.
They want to embrace it.
But they need
that support.
That guidance, that support.
Yeah, biblical guidance.
To actually do it effectively.
Totally.
It's about that balance, right?
It is.
Between the exploring and the structure.
Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, that sweet spot. And I think those insights from the teachers.
They're invaluable.
Yeah.
For anyone who's looking to do this in their own teaching.
Right, because we need to be mindful of those challenges and give teachers the support they need to be successful.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it seems like there's this real, like, hunger for this hands-on, inquiry-based way of teaching science.
Definitely.
And it doesn't have to be just physics.
No, not at all.
Think about, like,
the possibilities.
The possibilities for video analysis.
In other subjects.
In other subjects, yeah.
Like history.
History, oh yeah.
You could analyze. Like
your footage.
Yeah, historical footage.
What about, like, in a dance class?
Oh, yeah.
Break down
a dance routine.
Or even, like, biology.
Oh, for sure.
Animal behavior. So many possibilities.
Endless.
This has given me so many ideas.
Me too.
I'm already thinking about how I could use it in my own life.
It's really inspiring to see how technology can make learning more engaging and meaningful.
So as we wrap up,
I
want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
Imagine you're back in your classroom.
Okay.
You're teaching your subject. How would you use video analysis and a tool like Tracker to bring a concept to life for your students?
That's a good one.
What video would you choose?
Yeah.
And what would you want them to discover?
That really challenges you to think outside the box.
We've explored how video analysis can help students think like scientists. How important teacher training is.
Absolutely.
We even uncovered a little mystery project.
A little mystery, I know.
So hopefully this has, like, sparked some ideas for you.
For sure.
About how you might use video analysis in your own teaching or learning.
It's all about finding those moments.
Yeah.
Of aha.
Those light bulb moments.
Yes. And making learning fun.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Absolutely.
Into the world of video analysis.
Yeah, this is great.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning and keep learning.
Happy analyzing.